Robbie, a fantastic career for Ireland is about to come to an end. How are you feeling?
It's definitely been emotional week. Definitely for me, it's a bit surreal, to be honest with you. As I said in my statement, I dreaded this day for a long time. But it's come to this at the moment where I think it's the right time for me, and I'm certainly have mixed emotions about it. It's been an absolutely wonderful journey. I've enjoyed every minute of it. To the fans and everyone that's been very, very supportive to me over the 18 years that I've had, it's been an incredible journey, and it's something that I'll never ever forget. And I'll continue to support the Irish team in a different capacity now, and on the sideline watching them. So it's certainly Wednesday night is going to be very, very emotional for me and my family, of course.
Have you had any time to reflect on the highlights?
Not really. It's, as I said, it's been the last week. It's been very, very positive from everybody in terms of the messages I'm getting from people that I've played with, friends, family. So I haven't really reflected. I'm not one of these people to reflect on things until it's finished. So come Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, when that curtain finally closes, I look back and say, you know what, you did okay, Rob.
You say there have been mixed emotions. Was there a little bit of doubt in your mind? Do you feel as if you could have stayed on for a bit longer?
I feel physically, of course, that I can play for another few years, of course. But I think this is certainly the right time for me for international duty to finish. As I said, I've had an absolutely wonderful career. It's with the Irish team. I've had so many great memories, but I think it's the right time for me.
Tommy? Robbie, there has been a great outpouring of appreciation and sort of a recognition of everything you've achieved over the last week or so. There's also been a sense that people have said that, at times you were underappreciated, when you were scoring lots of goals for Ireland. Did you ever feel that back during those years when you were at your peak? And if so, how did that make you feel?
Listen, I've come to realisation over playing for a number of years that I played for the national team for over 18 years. You can't please everybody at times. But at the same time, the same people after the games to shake my hand and either want to get a photograph with me or ask me for an interview or want to speak to me forever after games. But that's football. That's football. You're going to get criticised sometimes, but all I ever did was wanted to do my best for the country. And I think I've done that. I've got no regrets whatsoever. But the outpour of messages I've received from people, it's been incredible, to be honest with you. And 67 goals and 145 caps. I think I did okay.
In terms of the last couple of years, and certainly in the summer, I think a lot of people have been impressed with the way that you became from being the main man for most of your career to having such a huge role with the squad over the summer. Do you think you matured yourself and changed as a person in that time?
Of course, yeah, definitely. Listen, when you have to understand when you're a young football player. Think about you probably all have kids, 16, 15, 17 years of age. I just turned 17 and I made my debut for the national team. Played for Wolves a month after my 17th birthday. I got thrown into the deep end. I had no clue how to speak to the media. I had no training. You got people that look after you to try and protect you in terms of how you speak to people. And sometimes that wasn't positive because they hold you back in terms of what you really want to say. But I think that the defining moment in my career definitely was when I was given the captain's armband when I was 26 years of age. It changed my perception of how you deal with things. For me, before I was 26 or even before that, it was like my talking was done on the pitch. That's what I've always been told. I'm a bit old school like that. I've been told that from previous players, previous managers. But then but that's not the reality. Even though you have to do your talking on the pitch, but with that there comes responsibilities, and the responsibilities I've had as being a captain has changed that, and that was the defining moment, I think, in my career, how you deal with people, how you have to be a role model on the pitch and off the pitch. I think that was a big moment for me.
Just in terms of, finally for me, just in terms of future now for the team, people have said, like, we'll only really realise what we have with Robbie when he's gone. How do you see it now with the squad that's there, with the potential for the future? How do you see it as you take your leave now?
I think the future is very bright. Certainly, I think if you look at the display in the Euros, will certainly suggest that. I think we have a fantastic manager, fantastic backroom staff, and I think we have great players who's got unbelievable desire to win, and unbelievable team spirit. So, listen, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll do well in this, certainly in this campaign, and I look forward to watching it from a different perspective now.
All the best, Robbie.
Thank you.
Robbie, I think we've all seen the video of your home debut and the interview afterwards over the last week, and you're talking about playing with lads like Niall Quinn and what a thrill it was, and Mick was saying that in 20 years' time he'll probably be saying that I managed Robbie Keane. I mean, he had some kind of intonation of what kind of player you'd turn out to be and how Ireland would be for you. At that point, could you have imagined beyond your wildest dreams that you'd have the career you had with Ireland?
No, of course not. Listen, I've heard a lot of stuff about being confident and stuff like that, and being cockney. I think there's a fine line between both. I think I was always a confident player, but if I wasn't a confident player and I didn't have that brassness about me, I don't think I'd ever scored 67 goals. So I think there's a fine line. People misinterpret cockiness and confidence. I was confident coming into the squad that, I belong here. And that was from day one. But did I ever imagine that I was going to 145 caps? When I was growing up, when I was at Wolves, I remember people retiring at 30, 32 years of age, and I was thinking, if I get to 30, 32 years of age, I'll be delighted, And here I am, still 36, still playing. So it's been an unbelievable career for me with the national team, and I played for many teams. I put many jerseys on, but the Irish one always seems to fit me the best. And for me, it was always a comfort blanket coming back with the national team, and it's been my second home. I've had a lot of emotions in terms of in my career. I think you have all been there. You grew up with me. My father died, which was very, very tough for me. About 3 days later, I was on a plane going to play a game. Then my son was born. 2 hours later, I left the hospital in LA to come back and play for Ireland. So I think that suggests to you that, Ireland was always a very, very special place in my heart, and it will continue to be that for a long, long time.
How are you going to make this week go as slow as possible, because it is the last week?
Listen, it's been great. Obviously, meeting up, it's been different. I can't lie to you. It's been very, very strange, and in terms of meeting up, knowing that on Wednesday after that game, that's it, and the lads will continue to be with the team and play on Monday. So it's obviously something I've never experienced before. It's I was leaving my house in LA and packing my bags to go, and it was just like, this is kind of it. It was very, very strange.
Damien. Robbie, you've talked in the past about your desire one day to go into coaching. Is there any scope for you to stay involved with Ireland, or do you need to take a step back at this point?
Oh, no, I mean, first and foremost, as I said in my statement, that is to continue to play the game that I love. I'm just a lad that loves playing football, so I'll continue to do that for as many years as possible. If you're asking me down the road, would I like to be involved? Of course, but certainly not. Not at the time being. I think it's I think it's important for me now to focus on my football, my club career for a couple more years, and then after that we'll see what happens. But just because I've done my coaching badges and just because maybe I've got a little bit of a name for myself, that doesn't automatically mean that I'm going to go into management or I'm going to be a good manager or a bad manager. No one really knows, but it's certainly I took the steps to do that, and of course I'd like to stay in the game after I finish playing, but certainly at this moment in time is fully focused on still playing.
I just think it's going to be an amazing few days, as the lads were saying. From your own point of view, from your family's point of view, you're hoping for a big crowd on Wednesday, hoping for a good send-off?
Yeah, listen, of course, yeah. I'm just very grateful to be given the opportunity to say goodbye to the fans, who the true fans over the years has been always very, very fantastic to me. I've had a great career with them, and they've seen me through the good times and the bad times. So, if they're all there, it'd be fantastic. And I'm just grateful from the manager's point of view, and giving me that call a few weeks ago and asked me to play in this game. So after Euros, I thought that was it, and it was. I think for everybody in the Euros was when you lose a game, it's very hard, but to see my son Robert in the crowd after and 7 years of age and crying his eyes out was a moment for me in terms of I was exactly like that when I was a kid, and it shows his true love for Ireland, and that's exactly what I have. And to go out and say thank you to the fans on Wednesday will be a special moment for me, and certainly something that I'll never forget. So I'm going to take in as much as I can, enjoy everything, and certainly enjoy everything I've done. And like to you guys as well, I'd like to thank all of you. I mean, you've been through everything with me, and through you've seen, I think, the real Robbie Keane, and not the one that people perceive you of. I think you know me as a person. All I ever wanted to do was be a good teammate, be a good player for the national team, and be the best that I can be for Ireland. And you just show me a lot of love, so I appreciate it.
I remember meeting Robert and Claudine after the Euro, still in France. It was great for him to see you in action, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that certainly that Euros was for him. He loved football anyway, but that 4 weeks was huge for me. It changed his even more so the love for football, and of course for Ireland. And listen, it's going to be emotional certainly for the whole family. My mum and everyone going to the game, and it's the first time, which is ironic that my young son Hudson's going to walk out with me, and my last time ever to play for Ireland. So it's going to be a special moment, and something I'll certainly treasure.
And I know you mentioned in your statement the goal in against Germany, but apart from that one, I mean, I remember the one against France, maybe one of the best Ireland team goals. Are there any other moments that stand out for you?
There's been so many moments. Certainly, obviously, the Germany one in the World Cup was, for me, will always stand out for me. The France one doesn't really stand out as much because we lost the game. Which, when you're a footballer, you always you try and remember the good things. But I think nothing will ever beat the first goal you've ever scored for Ireland. And against Malta, when we won 5-0, I scored 2. That was a year and a half before that. I was playing on the streets in Tallaght, and here I am on the big stage, Lansdowne Road, scoring my first goal in front of the Irish crowd, and people like Niall Quinn and Steve Staunton and Gary Kelly and people like that you respected as a young kid growing up, and then you're there with them, you're playing with them. It was a surreal moment. I think you've probably seen, well, which is probably not good. I have seen certainly over the last few weeks, people sending me my first interview. I think it's against Argentina. I think that shows you, you know, the joy I had to put that green jersey on, and that has never left me. That's always been the same, even to the Euros. That 17-year-old kid, growing up in Tala, is still the same lad and still has the appreciation of putting that Ireland jersey on, and that's something that will never go away from me.
Well, Robbie, on a personal level, can I thank you as well? I know when I was sick a couple of years ago, you were very nice and kind, and you always have been. So thanks for all your help professionally as well. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tommy. Thanks.
Anyone else? Broadcast? Okay.
Thanks,
very much.
Thanks
Yeah.
very much.